Why did my screen switch? Okay. All right, we're live. All right, boys and girls, we are live and in living color. Live and in living color. All right, let's get these things fired up, baby. I was so happy about the show on this weekend, dude. Me and Jordan, I'm telling you, dude, we couldn't answer questions fast enough after y'all got off the other night. I know you had to work, so we couldn't answer questions fast enough, but it was like crazy. When one big team loses, that's when you get all the fans in here, or the trolls.
Oh hell, it was a big weekend for that.
It was absolutely. It was monstrous. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Thriller's in here.
Hey,
USC fan. Maybe he can do something for us this weekend. Maybe they can do something, get Notre Dame out of there.
I would love to see USC beat Notre Dame. I really would.
100% tell you this, Riddle, and I mean this with all due my heart, everything in my heart. I'm telling you, Notre Dame loses, they still make the playoffs because it's Notre Dame.
Yep.
I know it's going to happen.
We only have one loss. One loss. Yeah. I got one loss against a shitty Northern Illinois team.
I mean, it is what it is.
See. Indiana last week was fifth, lost, and fell to 10th. Notre Dame now this week is fifth. So they definitely have a cushion.
Everybody gets a moment. Share the live out.
There's no viewers.
Try to share this live out before we get started.
Yeah, 7. How is Colorado ranked after losing to Nebraska? I mean, they're still going to be ranked, but they're not going to be in playoffs. So
no, that's finally. That's fine. The beat, man. That's
over with.
They're in the top 25 just because they're probably one of the top 25 teams overall, but they're not going to be in a playoff or nothing.
Oh, there's technically a route for them to win the Big 12.
Don't talk like that.
So Vincent said that Alabama doesn't deserve it anywhere near the top 25. I mean, I'm not going to say we deserve to be in the playoffs, Vincent, but we're definitely one of the top 25 teams.
Oh, come on now. Listen, I'm a Vols fan, and Bama.
We're definitely top 25
they're still a top 25 team. Come on now. They're smoking a lot of teams that are outside or on the fringe of 25. So
my buddy Chump said we need to get it right. It's Notre Shame.
Yeah,
Notre Shame. I agree with it.
Vincent, I understand the 3 losses are tough, but I mean, look at everybody behind us. They've got 3 losses too. So I mean, it's not like it. I don't think we're going to be in the playoffs though. So we can cut that out. But
they've been spoiled, them Bama fans.
Yeah. So as someone who absolutely hates Arizona State, I think they should be higher, but they get in regardless. Arizona State right now currently has the 4th seed, so they may not be ranked high enough for you, but they're currently sitting in the 4th seed, so their playoffs going to take care of them.
Well, Vincent, who do you think should be in top 25 if Bama's not? That's what I want to know. I want to know who you think should be top 25 to replace them.
Yeah. Austin says, if anyone thinks SMU or Penn State could beat Bama, they need therapy. And that makes no sense. I ain't going to go that far. I'm just saying that Alabama has their shots, guys.
Penn State definitely fucking not.
Me and Brandon were talking about.
Go ahead.
Me and Brandon were talking about this before we went live. Is there's actually an avenue where the Big 12 gets left out because Tulane is one spot behind the highest ranked Big 12 team. So Tulane could end up stealing that seed. Boise State would then go to 4, I believe.
Yeah, that would be
where they were at.
That would be huge. Let's see here.
Here's a question. Better than everyone else. Okay.
Penn State better than everyone. Everyone's okay.
Pass the pipe, Ned. Pass the pipe.
Penn State ain't better than Ohio State. I mean, okay. Let's see here. Should Gus Malzahn get fired at UCF?
It's not an easy place to win. It's not an easy place to recruit to either.
Who are you going to go get though? Who are you going to go get?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Who are you going to go get? That might be better.
You've got a pretty proven coach there at a smaller school, and yeah, they're not having a great year, and no, they're not what Apple had them at, or the guy before him when they claimed their national championship. But Lane, what was it? Frost was there, and he went to Nebraska. But
y'all just bear with us. We're going to
I
try to get
still
all the
think he's
questions
a
we can.
decent coach, and he's going to be able to recruit better than most people down there in a very competitive market down there.
I think Riddle, the only thing that we need to say about Malzahn, and we could just leave it at this. He can't ride it forever, but he's one of the few people that actually had success against Nick Saban. So if you take nothing else from that, you know, I mean,
so did the coach you're about to play.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Vanderbilt. Hey, Ned, Vanderbilt was taking schools down.
He got
being Vanderbilt.
He got proved to be a cheater anyway, so that's why had to get shipped out. Oh, hotty toddy got shipped out. I'm a UGA fan. Best game, y'all's best game is scary. I got a Georgia fan right here, Melzy. He'll tell you. See what else we got here. War, damn, you're cooked on Saturday. That's going to be an interesting game, Hunter, because I'll be honest with you, we can't stop the run, and Auburn specializes in running the football, so it's going to be interesting for sure. Urban did have some success, Vincent, but you know he ran away, he faked a heart attack.
He's done that twice now.
It's not about much. Your lighting looks better. Okay, Courtney says the camera looks better, so apparently something's working. Good. Big Ten better than the SEC. You're
not top to bottom.
You're not going to win that battle in this podcast.
Hey, I need.
And I'll give you the top. I'll even give you
Oregon,
the top.
Ohio State. I'll give you those two.
I'll give you those two. Every other SEC team would be licking their lips. Would be licking their lips to play Indiana or Penn State.
Yeah, don't make me tell you go back to watching hockey now.
Oh, here you go.
There we go.
Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it because I'll do it.
Hey guys, we're gonna get UConn in here. Get the camera set up real quick. Make sure it's set up right.
Austin, Bama needs a lot of help. They need a lot of chaos, and they'll get some help, but it really just depends on what the teams in front of them do. There he is.
Give me a second. All right, okay. I need to go over here.
What's that shirt say?
Do what?
The real UT wears.
UT Junior what?
151C. Ain't no burn in this house.
So have you seen the rankings yet, Jordan, or are you waiting for us to unveil them for you?
I hadn't seen them.
Oh,
Now I've watched this Buffalo Kent State game.
Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to get this squared away. There's Tony. Why is this over him? Okay. Something's wrong on one side. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to. Okay. There's Jordan. Jordan doing? What's he in there?
Yeah, your screen's no longer showing up on the top there.
I know. I'm trying to figure it
Okay.
out right now. I'm just struggling. Okay, so that one should be gone. But now, why is it not letting me move Jordan?
So, Jordan, do you want me to reveal that top 25 to you, or do you want to wait and do it till we do our picks and you just?
It don't matter. We can. I mean, it don't really matter. Just however you want to do it.
What is?
I mean, because we're live now. We can get your raw reaction.
Yeah, we're live. I'm just moving shit.
All
around.
right. So I'm gonna run it down for you real quick. 25, Colorado. 24, Kansas State. 23, the Fighting Tony Pardos of Illinois. 22, UNLV. 21, Missouri. 20, Texas A&M. 19, BYU. 18, Iowa State. 17, Tulane. 16, Arizona State. 15, South Carolina. 14, 14, Ole Miss.
We're live. Okay.
13,
Whoa, no, let me stop you right there. Ole Miss is 14.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Like, I figured at this point they just left them out. You know what I mean? I thought they had made the right choice and left them out. I left them off the rankings. Period.
right.
Wow.
So 13.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
13,
Thank you for following,
Alabama.
guys. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Got a big Will Mercer.
yeah.
12, Clemson. 11, Boise State. 10, Indiana.
Yeah, what I said they'd
9,
be.
9 is SMU.
Yeah.
8 is Tennessee. 7 is Georgia. 6 is Miami. 5 is Notre Dame. And then the top 4 is unchanged: Penn State, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon.
Yeah, no surprise in the top
guys.
4. I mean, Penn State's awful. They don't deserve to be there, but they're not
Yeah,
going to move them
yeah.
until they just shit the bed.
Now, the
Or
bracket,
before in the playoffs.
Which will
your
happen.
first round matchup would be 16th ranked but 12th seed Arizona State at number 5 Ohio State, Tennessee at Georgia,
Could very well kiss.
Indiana at Penn State, and SMU at Notre Dame. And then Boise State, Oregon, Miami, and Texas get the buys.
All right. We're going to go over it in detail too. We're going to go over it in detail once we jump in. I know this is people that are just showing up. We are a little bit early, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we got a lot to cover, and why not? That way we have more time to chat with it because nobody has to work tomorrow, right? So
No.
we can all shoot the shit for a little bit and actually answer questions at the end. So y'all, I'm on Twitch right now. Twitch Austin is SOA_Snake Eyes. I haven't changed the name over from my gaming handle, but SOA_Snake Eyes on Twitch. We're live right now. We're on the red too.
Yeah, Thriller. Missouri's a fucking joke. Ranked it off.
Yeah.
Dash barely asks. We Twitch. Yes, we stream on Twitch, obviously.
Yeah, we do. It's SOA_Snake Eyes. I haven't got that
Austin,
changed over
really.
yet. So I'm actually trying to build up. Got a follower. Thank you for following, brother. On the purple. Thank you. There's Austin on Twitch. There you go. Welcome, buddy. Kias is on Twitch. And like I said, we do the red, we do the purple, and we do TikTok, which I guess will be the black. So we try to do everything for you guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into the podcast portion of this. So like I said, y'all bear with us. We will pick out key comments that we think are critical that we want to touch on, maybe make us laugh, joke around. But we're going to try to get to the podcast information. We will have a Q&A at the very end of this. And obviously, we're going to answer all your questions and try to shoot the shit and hang out with y'all. So here we go. 12 minutes. Okay. All right. Welcome back to Lock, Loaded, and Goated. This is Lock, Load, and Goated podcast, and I'm Brandon Andrews, your host, accompanied with Tony Pardo at the top, Jeff Riddle right below him, and then Jordan Elkins in the big orange shirt there, telling you what the true orange color is. So if you're new here, this is the weekend roundup and a special edition this week. It's rivalry week. It's got a lot of holidays this week, and plus the playoffs came out. The playoff rankings just came out, so we wanted to get with y'all today instead of our traditional Wednesday, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start off right off the rip. Obviously, you heard Riddle just kind of run down the playoff rankings, but I guess we want to all sit here and have a bigger discussion about it because some of the matchups are key, and then we look at the first two that are out. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit going on with that. So we'll just start, Tony. Biggest surprise for you of the playoff rankings that obviously just got unveiled.
Well, I just seen it, and I'm pretty pissed off of the fact that Arizona State, which I understand, yeah, they beat BYU. I predicted them. I had them winning. I had them winning the last few weeks. I fucking hate the fact that overall, the seed that they're number 4. It's ugly as hell. I don't like it. I just don't like it. They're not deserving of that. They're not deserving of that number 4 overall seed. That's a damn joke. Now, if we want more Georgia TCU games, then fine, so be it. If that's what they want, 'cause that's what's going to happen. But if we're talking about, the best teams, best of the best, they shouldn't be there. Ole Miss, that's horseshit too, like Jordan mentioned. Singo, that's some bullshit. It's funny how these motherfuckers can lose games and they still don't get dropped. But let it be someone that I root for. Like a team I root for wins, and they're gonna get dropped. They're gonna lose 4 spots easy every fucking time. But let it be someone like Ole Miss or someone else, and they refuse to drop and get them out of here.
Yeah,
that's a damn joke. I'm tired of the shit of trying to keep teams lingering around that final spot. They're on that fringe there, that first cut. They can't make it.
Yeah.
This shit's on purpose. I don't like. I don't like it.
fine,
Now
but
I
not-
will say a lot of these teams that I just mentioned, like Arizona State, Ole Miss, the two I mentioned, I still would take them over Penn State.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
That it is what it is. But now if we're just talking rankings wise, it's sad. It's pathetic. We wanted these 12. We wanted more teams in. That's great. Big money maker, keeps fans involved. But for the sport itself, it just looks ugly.
games. There'll
I
be
don't
some
like
ugly
it.
games, Tony. You're 100%
There will
right.
be plenty. There will be plenty ugly games.
Couple of
Well,
comments.
I mean, like I said Saturday, there
Yeah.
shouldn't be. I mean, if you can't get a bye as a Power 4 team based on your own merit from the season, then there shouldn't be an exemption just so you can get a bye. I mean, if you win your conference championship, hey, you're in the playoff. Don't have to give you a bye. You get a seat at the table.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. It should be that. Like in
I
all
mean, there
in all
should still be
reality.
an auto.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still do it the same way. Hey, conference champions, you're automatically in. But just because you win a watered down Big 12 and you're, a middle of the road team, doesn't mean you deserve a bye to the second round.
Yeah.
One of the comments that
Just
came
so we
in
can
was Clemson wins they're in. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. I'll let one of these guys
Yeah.
talk on it. But Riddle, your biggest surprise reaction from the rankings?
I don't know. The ACC having 3 teams up there in the top 12 with Clemson being the first team out was a little surprising.
Yes.
I'm actually not overly surprised by this, and I'll tell you why. All the SEC had to do was win against unranked opponents last week.
Yep.
And not even unranked opponents having a decent year. Like Auburn, I guess you could say they're having a decent year. Oklahoma's having a way down year. Jordan said earlier this year it's a historically bad year for them as an offense, for sure. And then and Ole Miss, you went to Florida, and Florida is actually having a lot better year than people thought. I think Florida's playing really good football. But still, those 3 teams, all they had to do was win.
Yeah.
That's
I agree.
it. And they didn't do that. And, we've talked all year and we've said all year that if you have 3 losses, you're probably not getting in the playoffs. There's too many 1 and 2 loss teams out there. So the fact that those 3 fell out, I am not surprised by. Again, we still got this weekend, rivalry week. I guarantee you there's going to be more shakeup.
Yeah.
And then you got the conference championship games coming up too. And that will, again, somebody's going to have to lose.
give
And-
options for more chaos.
Exactly.
100%,
And then this committee is going to have to sit there and make some more decisions that will be
Head
questioned.
scratchers.
Yeah, that just
100%.
don't make sense. So this ranking of all the rankings so far, I kind of understand more than any of them, because literally all the SEC had to do was win, and then you would have had some interesting conversations happen. So
one of the comments just came in and said, what makes you think Alabama's worthy if they can't score a TD against Oklahoma from Miss Amanda? Nobody thinks Alabama should be in. Nobody on this panel. I'm a Bama fan, and I don't think Alabama should be in. So I don't think anyone said that. Go ahead.
that Amanda also said earlier that Tennessee would smoke Georgia at home. Well, lucky for us, the way this bracket stands, y'all would still have to come to Athens. So
Yeah. I mean, we just got to be honest with ourselves. No one thinks Alabama deserves. Alabama had their shot. They lost. That's it for now. If other teams lose in front of them, like pure chaos, like these guys are saying, I don't know what happens. But right now we're out. Thank you for following. Go ahead, Jordan. You're up, buddy.
One thing I've noticed with this new playoff format is there's a lot of hope. Teams that don't have any business having hope still have hope right now, because that chaos could happen.
Yeah.
I've seen in the comments, if Clemson wins, Saturday, they're in. No, they're not. If Carolina wins, they're in. No, they're not. There's next to slim to none, and Slim's packing his bags and leaving town, that those 2 teams get in.
Yeah.
The only way Carolina gets in is if Alabama is in. And so you're going to have 2 3-loss teams.
Yeah.
It's just, Carolina's playing good football right now. I think Carolina could beat Clemson this weekend. especially the way that defense has shown up at times. But head to head, they lost, and that's apparently a big thing for the committee is a head to head, even if it's head to head against a 500 Michigan team. Well, I guess they're one game above 500 if they beat Northwestern, but I see a lot of teams, a lot of fans still having hope that, and I think that's good. That's good for football, because right now a lot of fan bases, you're down to historically you're down to 4 to 5 fan bases still having hope by this weekend, and everybody else is on college basketball.
So one of the comments came in, and we can all kind of feel this. What happens if Georgia loses the SEC championship the next weekend? I actually talked to Riddle about this before we got on live. I think Georgia is in. I do not think they will penalize Georgia for losing the SEC title game to Texas. That is my opinion.
But, hang on, that brings up an argument.
Horrific loss.
Yeah, unless it's a murder.
That still brings up the argument, though, about Jordan's head-to-head. Like, if head-to-head matters, you're going to have Georgia sitting there with 3 losses, and so is Alabama and Ole Miss if they win this weekend. And both of those teams beat Georgia.
And I have an argument for you, and the only argument I will say is that at that point, it'll start looking at the losses themselves, Riddle, and I think Georgia's losses will clearly look better.
Georgia's losses look better than anybody's in the top 10, but that hasn't mattered to this point.
And the other thing is that's the second ranked team in the SEC. If you make it to the title game, you're number 2. That's a given. The way it's played out, and essentially you would be the second best team in the SEC. And I don't think they leave them out. That's my opinion. But again, we don't know yet. We got quite a few people in the chat.
I don't know. Hey, Daniel in the chat made a good point. What if that SEC championship loss is against A&M?
I think they're out.
We're assuming it's going to be Texas. With good reason. But
that could be different. I've got a lot of people in the chat right now.
It probably wouldn't take, in my opinion, it wouldn't take as bad of a loss to A&M as it would Texas. It would have to be just a damn totally not show up. Florida State in the bowl game last year to get it kicked out.
Hey, we got a lot of people in the chat right now, guys. If you can, please share this live out. Please tap that screen and please follow for us. We're trying to build up the community, build up the team. We need you guys to have this show, and we appreciate you guys, and we want to try to make it as big as we can. So appreciate everyone that's here. Please like, follow, do all that good stuff. So now I want to go into, we talked about the rankings. Let's just go into the matchups. It's all hypothetical now because we still have a week of chaos. And before we get into our marquee matchups, I think this is probably the most fun conversation we could possibly have. And Riddle, me and you, we kind of watched it together. So I'll let you go first. Arizona State at Ohio State. Who you taking?
that would be Ohio State by a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody on board with that? Everybody on the panel? Yeah, I think so. All right. So here's the most first intriguing matchup. So Tennessee with a rematch against Georgia at Georgia. That's a tough one.
Which Georgia shows up?
Yeah.
Does the Georgia that plays UMass show up, or does the Georgia that played us the week before show up?
Does Georgia doesn't get any holding calls on offense line show up, or
which Tennessee shows up?
Well, that's true, man.
There's so many things that'll depend on who shows up that night.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. And I'm not going to make you pick that one, but let's just say hypothetically, what we would say is Georgia holds that head-to-head win. So we'll just assume Georgia wins this time just to carry on the bracket. Because, it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be a good game. That's probably the best first-round game I see on the schedule. Because the next one is Indiana at Penn State. I talk about a snore fest. I'm gonna say Penn State wins just based on defense because I think Indiana. Hell, Indiana couldn't do shit against Ohio State.
That was the first time in that moment for Indiana, though, and they know that moment now.
Penn State didn't do shit against Ohio State. Penn State didn't score offense touchdown against Ohio State.
True. I would take Indiana in that one.
I still take.
I would lean Indiana. I think
Penn State at home in the playoffs. Probably. I don't know. I'm probably.
I'd still take Indiana.
Don't get me wrong. If they're at Beaver Stadium, they can't mow the grass.
Yeah.
They can't pay the light bill. It's always dim as hell. They might have a little bit of home field edge there.
Well, I would say Penn State, but because the panel, there's 3 of y'all against me. We'll say Indiana gets that one, and we'll move on to so SMU at Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think
Notre Dame. I think handles
Notre Dame. The defense and the size on the lines is the difference in that one. SMU. may even have a second half lead, but I think Notre Dame can lean on them just too much down the stretch to wear them down for that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what I think. Size and athleticism.
Especially being at South Bend. I mean, that place will be. They've never had a game like that in that place. So,
hey, Bucknut said the stream's lagging real bad. I actually got a really good connection. I'm watching it. I'm watching the feedback and the live.
It's been lagging on mine a couple times,
and I actually don't have any. I don't have any right now. So,
mine just did.
Yeah, it just did on mine, and it's doing it right now.
Yeah, it's lagging.
Yeah, and see,
it's just like it was the other night. We'll just have to fight through it.
Yeah, the purple is
better than that went.
The purple's running good. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, with that said, I appreciate everybody for being here. We're going to move on to the next round here. So next round, it would essentially be Ohio State with that gravy spot we talked about, that 5th seed we talked about all season. Ohio State going to Boise State. Well, no, is it to Boise State or is that an actual bowl game? It'd be to Boise State, wouldn't it? No, it'd be a bowl game. It'd be a dedicated bowl game. Yeah. Okay. So Ohio State against Boise State. Who you got, Tony?
Oh yeah, that would be a Rose Bowl.
I'm gonna take Ohio State. I mean, Boise State. They've been playing with fire a lot over the last 5-6 weeks now.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell I'm gonna take Boise over Ohio State.
Yeah. Okay. Riddle, who you got?
Yeah, I would take Ohio State. And if I had to pick a national champion today, I think Ohio State's the betting favorite for a reason. So yeah, I would definitely take Ohio State in that matchup.
So, okay. I mean, yeah, Jordan, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State, they're just, for the same reasons you go with Notre Dame, they have too much size or too big, too fast. Eventually, I'm sure Boise would do what Boise does, and they'd have a few gadget plays and maybe take a small lead early. Maybe even a 2-score lead if they catch them napping and get a turnover, but Ohio State would pull away late.
And I'm not going to be anything crazy. I think Ohio State beats them, and I don't think it's anywhere near close, but that's my opinion. All right, so Georgia against Oregon. Tony, you get to start this one off.
I don't know. It's a tough one. Hell, we mentioned what Carson Becky gonna get. I don't know. But if I'm gonna take one right now, fuck it, I'm going Georgia.
Okay.
I'm not really sold on Oregon.
Riddle, do I even need to ask
I know they're
you?
a good team. No.
I mean, obviously, I would pick Georgia as a Georgia fan.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's what we talk about with Georgia. It's which Georgia shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, if Beck turns the ball over a lot, they have no chance in that game. If the Georgia that showed up against Texas and Tennessee this year goes out there, Georgia can beat anybody in the country. So it just depends.
And handily too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. I'll wait till go ahead, Jordan. You're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out of line and go with Oregon in this one, simply because I trust Oregon to show up more than I do Georgia. I mean, we've seen Georgia look like world beaters at times this year, and we've seen them just flat stay on campus. Like the Ole Miss game. I mean, is Georgia good enough to beat Oregon? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Should they beat them? Absolutely. What Georgia shows up, I think Oregon has been more consistent all year than what I've seen from Georgia. I'd have to lean Oregon in that game.
Yeah.
That's actually really fair. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's like if the right Georgia shows up, they can run them off the field. But just based on what I've seen all year, Oregon is going to consistently hang that that 30 spot. Where Georgia might hang 13, it might hang 50. I mean.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say Georgia, and the reason why is Kirby Smart, been there before, obviously has experience, and I think experience plays along well. You got a lot of players on that team that have actually played for a national title, maybe not many because most of them go pro, but Georgia's been in this spot so many times. I think they win this game, not because Oregon's bad, just because I think they step up and he has them prepared. Again, anything's possible, like you guys said. So, but that's my opinion. So with that said, going down, we're going to take Indiana against Miami. Tony, you're up, brother.
The over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's home again? Miami.
It would be
It'd be Miami.
It'll be a bowl
Miami.
It'd be a bowl
bowl
game.
game. All right. Well, then with that said, just give me.
And it might be the Orange Bowl. Who knows? But it'll be a bowl.
He's got Miami. All right.
I know their defense is sus, but just give me Miami.
Who you got, Riddle?
Man, that Miami defense is so bad. They're really bad.
Jordan,
I would actually have to probably take Indiana just because I think their defense is better, and they might get one or two more stops than Miami would. So, I'd take Indiana in that one.
Hey, guys, we're gonna have to stop the stream and reconnect because for some reason it keeps kicking out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this keeps happening. But it's back now. I don't know what keeps happening. But all right. We'll just fight through it. Yeah, we'll fight through it. I apologize, guys.
It'll be good on Twitch and everything and on the podcast later. So.
All right, yeah. So here we go. My pick. I would actually take Indiana too. For some reason, I want to take Cam Ward, but Miami's defense has been so atrocious, and to be honest with you, they haven't really. They've never found a defense. So I would, like you said, I think Indiana maybe just gets a few extra stops against a struggling Miami defense. Well, anyway. Jordan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I sorry I had a phone call come in.
Okay.
I'm good now.
Damn, it's disconnected again. What is happening?
I'm gonna be on voice for just a second. Voice only. I'm fixing my kids some dogs.
Okay, we're just making sure everything was.
We do it all here, man. College football, cooking show.
Yeah, we do it all. We do everything.
If the TikTok quit or keeps on lagging really bad, everybody that's in here can find us on other platforms. The purple, red.
And the red is locked, loaded, and goated, just like it is on here. And then on the purple, it's SOA_Snake Eyes. Like I said, I haven't changed that one platform, but we are available other places. Okay, so Jordan, who you taking the Indiana Miami game?
I really like this Indiana team, but I mean Cam Ward, he's a special kid at quarterback. I think he would probably be the difference maker in like a 45-40 shootout.
Okay, so we got 2-2 here, guys. We're gonna have to flip the. I tell you what we'll do. We'll just give Miami the benefit of the doubt since they're ranked higher. We'll just give them the benefit of the doubt because we were split on that.
Technically, they're ranked lower, but
well, yeah.
No, Indiana lost.
I appreciate that, Bucknut. Appreciate you enjoying the podcast. We appreciate those comments. That's why we do this stuff.
Man. Appreciate
it. So moving on, now it's Notre Dame at Texas. I feel like this is one of the big matchups, the good ones. Tony, who you got, brother?
Give me God. We talk about how Notre Dame doesn't play real competition. Well, neither does Notre Dame, so give me Texas.
Texas. Okay, Texas. All right, good. Riddle, who you got, brother?
That Northern Illinois loss still looms large with me. I know that they've put it behind them and they've played really good here down the stretch. And I'd like to say that they deserve to be where they are, but I don't think they do. I'm not very sold on this Texas team either. And if there's Texas people in the chat want to crucify me, they can come on with it. But they've played the bottom of the SEC and they've struggled at times against them, Arkansas and Kentucky notably. But if I had to pick one right now, I would probably say Texas.
Right.
And I think it would be a very low scoring game and a very close game.
I think it'd be a good game. Jordan, who you got?
I have to agree with Jeff. I think the under would be the favorite in that one. I just think Texas has too many weapons. It'd be one of those games where if it was outdoors, say in the Orange Bowl or in Pasadena, if it was a rainstorm game, I might lean Notre Dame if you had some real bad weather. But I'd probably have to take Texas. Something like a 24-20 type deal.
I could see that. I'm going to go with Texas too. Riddle, as much as I know Georgia went down there and did what they needed to do against Texas, and I can appreciate that because I think Georgia, like I said, I probably think as highly of Georgia as you do in terms of the team because I've seen what Kirby can do. I think Texas is a good team. I think they have good talent. Sometimes you just don't put it all together, and I think they would do it in the playoff. I think Sarkisian would have them ready. So I'm going to say Texas in this game. It would be one of the closer games, though. It'd be one of the closer games, I think, because I do think Notre Dame's defense is for real. So now we are sitting here, and we've got Georgia against Ohio State. Georgia against Ohio State. If we're sitting here, pick based on our picks. Tony?
I mean, it's the same cliche shit we've been saying about Georgia. I'm going to go Ohio State.
Mm.
Yep. I
All
didn't
right.
want to because I hate
Riddle?
them. But
Riddle, who you got?
This is solely based on, and I hate basing it on this because it's one of those games that's really hard to get up for. And the UMass game, Georgia was supposed to just blow them out, and their defense went out there and sleptwalked through the game. And UMass hit quite a few big plays and ran the ball down their throat at times. And Ohio State has two of the best backs in the country. If they control the ball and they're able to establish the run, which is the one thing that Georgia has struggled with at times this year, then I definitely think that Ohio State could beat Georgia. I would pick Georgia just because I'm a Georgia fan, but if I wasn't, I would probably pick Ohio State in that game just from the deficiencies I've seen in Georgia this year.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I appreciate you being honest about that. So that's good. Okay. So now, Jordan, you're up.
You know, that's a tough ask. You get Ohio State, who has been a slow starter all year long, and they would finally face a team with a defense good enough to punish them for that. If Georgia can get out the gate, if it comes out like, of course, that a weather-related game, but if they come like they did at Ole Miss, or even the Alabama game, I don't know they have enough firepower to fight back into that.
Okay.
But honestly, I mean, I'm a firm believer of defense wins championships, and in this matchup, you got to give Georgia the nod for having the better defense. If they show up, I think they win.
Okay. That's fair. So that's good. I on this game, honestly, Ohio State seems to have turned a corner. We'll see what happens Saturday. But they have been playing better football here lately. And just to not be an SEC homer, I think this game, obviously, like Riddle said, with the inconsistencies of Georgia and knowing about inconsistency as a Bama fan, I would just take Ohio State. I think they're playing more consistent football. I don't think they're I don't want to say they're as talented as Georgia, but I trust Georgia's talent more.
Jordan.
I trust Georgia's talent more, but this one right here, just I'd pick Ohio State. All right, so now we're sitting here, Texas against Miami. Texas against Miami. So who you got? Tony, you're up, brother.
I'm going to go with Texas. I mean, Ewers, defense. I mean, I know Cam Ward's a great QB, but I don't think Miami's defense would be good enough to stop Texas when they need it to. So give me Texas.
Okay. Riddle, who you got?
Yeah, the Texas's defense would be too much for Miami, and Texas would be able to score enough to beat them without it, but because Miami's defense is so bad. So, yeah, I'm taking Texas in that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Jordan?
It's Texas. I mean, it's Texas. That defense is the difference. I mean, the Miami's defense is not good. And so if Texas can get one stop, that's plenty. 2 stops, and it starts getting ugly.
Yeah, I think Texas is very strong in the trenches. Like we talked about, their O-line last week is very, very talented. I know they've had some tough games, but I would pick Texas. So, all right, so that puts us Ohio State versus Texas for the national title, Tony, for our hypothetical playoffs, or as it stands right now. Who you got, Tony, winning it all?
God. It's a crapshoot, really. I mean, because a lot of these teams, there's not a dominant team. Any one of these teams could probably beat each other at any time, just depending on who catches who on their off day.
All right.
Hell. Well, with that being said, and I don't even want to say it because I was talking shit earlier to a Texas fan, but fuck it. Give me Ohio State.
All right. All right.
I'm not going to say Texas. So
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Riddle.
So are we picking the national championship, Texas and Ohio State?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ohio State.
Okay.
Then I actually don't think this game would be close if that's what happened, if they matched up in the national championship game.
All right. Jordan.
Yeah, if it was Ohio State, Texas, I'm taking the Buckeyes. If it was Georgia, Texas, it'd be the third matchup, in like 2 months. That game could get really dicey and turn into a real chess match of who's willing to dig deep enough in the playbook to find something that they haven't showed before.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm going to say Ryan Day gets over the hump, gets him a title, and essentially is able to finally bring a title to Ohio State with all that money they spent and all that stuff they did this offseason. So they better, or it's going to be a long road ahead. But so, all right, with that said, we got Ohio State winning our hypothetical playoff championship.
With this bracket, but next week, this bracket's
it'll be totally different, dude.
Yeah.
But,
we'll have a different winner next week, probably.
But it'll be fun then, just like it was fun now. So, hey, if anybody in there, if you can, please tap that screen for us, share the live out, and please follow. Like I said, trying to build the community up. We appreciate everybody for being here. Now we're going to get into our marquee matchups for the week. Now, we normally do something different. We normally go over the big ranked matchups, and we do have a couple that we're going to talk on, but we wanted to talk about the rivalry matchups that we have coming up this weekend. And so we all have our own designated rivalry game, and then we'll get into some of the more marquee matchups that will actually determine something meaningful. So with that said, we're going to start out with the Georgia fan talking to us about Georgia Tech at Georgia. Riddle, take it away.
Yeah, clean old-fashioned hate this weekend for the Governor's Cup down there. This will be the 118th meeting between Georgia and Georgia Tech, and Georgia leads the series 71-41-5. Georgia has won 6 in a row. Their last loss was Kirby's first year. They lost 28-27 in 2016. One of the interesting things I found researching this game is Georgia has never won 8 in a row against Georgia Tech.
That's interesting.
Also, on top of that, Georgia Tech's last 3 wins since Rick got there have all been in Athens in 2008, 2014, and 2016. So I thought those 2 things were pretty interesting for this game.
I did like that. That was good.
But over the last 2 games, Carson Beck is 45-71, 644 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Also has a rushing touchdown to add to that. Nate Frazier, the freshman, he has 40 carries for 204 yards and 4 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. Tight ends have had 16 receptions for 216 yards and 3 touchdowns. Been begging all year for them to get the tight ends going, and they finally have the last 2 weeks. Georgia Tech doesn't do anything elite on either side of the ball, but they're very disciplined. They're one of the most disciplined teams in the nation. They're 19th in the nation in penalties, 4.9 per game, and 10th in penalty yards, just 38.7 per game. Haynes King's going to be a key. He's been limited the last couple of games. He was 3 of 3 for 7 yards passing, but then had 8 carries for 22 and a touchdown against NC State. Against Miami the week before that, he was 6 of 6 for 32 yards and a touchdown, but ran 20 times for 93 yards and a touchdown. So when he's in the game, expect him to run. Aaron Philo is the guy that's been airing it out. He was 19 of 38 for 265 and a pick last week against NC State. I just think Georgia is going to be too much talent-wise in this game, and I have Georgia winning this game. But I do not think they cover the spread.
All right. Yeah, this game, like I said, Riddle, I don't think this is going to be any indication of what we're going to see in the SEC title game from Georgia. I think this is going to be very vanilla.
Right.
All right, moving on.
Is Philo going to be the starter this weekend?
They'll probably interchange them like they have the last 2
I know he
weeks.
played more last weekend than he had. So I don't know if King
They
is hurt.
threw the ball more last week too than they have. So
Yeah, that's why.
We got a key comment in the chat from a guy named Chris. He says, "Let's go, Vandy. Let's go, Vandy."
Vandy's like a cat. They use up all their 9 lives. Don't have what 3 games scared. They're cooked. All right, let's roll on.
He said
All right, here we
could.
go. Michigan at Ohio State. Michigan at Ohio State. Tony, you're up.
Well, this is a rivalry goes back to October 16th, 1897. Michigan actually leads the series 61-51-6. But let's face it, this rivalry is boring in my opinion. I could really give 2 shits about it, especially when one team is down. And we all know who I'm talking about, which is Michigan. Michigan's having down years, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They don't have QB, obviously, to consistently keep drives alive. Defense has been okay. Obviously, not the dominant defense that Harbaugh had over the last few years. They're okay, but nothing special. The only thing I want to see from this game is whether or not really Rondé can snap a 3-game losing streak to the Wolverines. They in Ohio State, yeah. They in Ohio State went out and bought the best of the best talent to try to recapture dominance and stop the choke that they've been experiencing for the last 3 years. See if they can put a chokehold back on this conference because they really don't have a chokehold on anymore. They don't have much competition besides Oregon, really, but they don't have that where they were the for sure favorite. But even with all that talent, at times, they seem to not live up to what was expected on the field. They have played and looked better as of late, and they seem to be finally gaining some traction after putting a beat down on the Hoosiers. But the questions still remain for me for this team if they are actual legit title contenders. So again, this is going to be another statement game for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes. If for whatever reason, I feel like for whatever reason they lose to this Michigan team, they better win the damn title. Because if they don't win the title, I wouldn't be surprised if hear rumblings of his job. And I know that seems crazy or whatever, but hell, it's not really crazy. You think about it, because what if you do lose to Michigan 4 times in a row? You better win the title. His job could be in jeopardy. But with that, I don't think they shouldn't lose this game to Michigan. So I think Ohio State, it's a rivalry game. They'll win by a couple TDs. I don't think it's going to be that great of a game. So that's that on that rivalry.
All right,
old man snooze fest rivalry. But yeah, that's
Jordan, we gave you the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Who you got?
Oh boy, the one I didn't take notes on.
It's fine, brother.
It's okay. Gut reaction's good enough for this game. I mean, let's be honest. Ole Miss had their heart tripped out last week, losing on the road against an improving Florida team, but not a good Florida team nonetheless. Really thought we'd see more out of Kiffin's bunch last week. Still had everything in front of them to play for as far as a playoff spot and a national championship. Obviously, they were somewhere in the SEC mix, but, it was going to be a long, confusing road for that game. This total is line sitting in 26.5? Did somebody check that?
I checked it this morning when I took these. Depending on where 26 right now, depending on where you look, 26.
Okay.
Either way, you're in the ballpark.
I feel like Mississippi State will get the cover in this game. I mean, they've got nothing to lose. This is their bowl game. What Ole Miss shows up, we'll find out. Will they play Friday, right?
Friday.
They play on Friday this week. Sorry, throwing me off a little bit. But we'll see what Ole Miss shows up. But I feel like Mississippi State and the points in this game is probably the right side to lean on. I mean, if Mississippi couldn't get up for last week's game, why would they get up for this one against a 2-8, Mississippi State team?
Okay. All right, and then finally, my game is the Iron Bowl, good old fashioned Iron Bowl. I'm going to make it short and sweet. We don't have to even get too in depth in this. Auburn does a really good job of running the football, and Alabama really struggles to stop the run. The only difference is Alabama, when they play at home, for some reason plays like Superman, and they play like a cockroach when they go anywhere on the road. So it being at home, I think I'm just going to take Alabama, but I think it's a super close game because Alabama just does not have the testicular fortitude to go out and dominate people they should dominate. So, and a lot of that rests on the O-line, the D-line, pretty much the whole damn team. So, but I'll pick Bama just because they're at home.
Right. Real quick, I do want to add this one to it because I think this is a pretty good rivalry. And of the rivalry games this weekend, I think this one could get interesting. Mm-hmm. And maybe a lot of people don't. But Notre Dame at USC, those two programs, 24 combined national titles, 15 Heisman Trophy winners. I think this could be a scary game for Notre Dame. It's the battle for the George Shillelagh.
The Shillelagh.
Want to hear who y'all? Well, we'll cover that game here.
We'll get to it. Tony, what do you think about this Alabama-Auburn game?
You're muted, Tony.
Well, Alabama's pretty much had their way at home over the last few years, but those were Saban coach teams. Man, I just feel like Alabama's got to. They don't really got to. I mean, if they want to keep any chance at sniffing the playoffs, they got to win this game. I still think Alabama's the better team because Auburn, I mean, they're a good team some days and some days maybe not. But same thing for Alabama. So I don't know. This is almost like a toss-up, but because Alabama's home and Milroe does occasionally put up, a god-like game, I'm going to take Alabama.
All right, Jordan.
What about you, Jeff?
Oh, I think me and you talked about this one the other night. If this game was at Auburn,
I ought to pick Auburn.
I would very much consider taking Auburn, but the fact that it's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama just came off one of their worst defeats in recent memory, and didn't even score a touchdown. I think they're going to come out and try to beat the absolute piss out of Auburn. So I would take Alabama this weekend.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, what do you got?
Hey, first off, we got any Alabama fans in the chat? Let's get some Roll Tides in there if there are. There's got to be a few. Hold on, Jamie.
You're talking to one.
Well, I'm talking to one. I'm talking to one for sure. I know Chris is hanging around here. I see some Roll Tides.
Here comes the Roll Tides now.
They know. We rolled deep.
Alabama, 12-5 against that team from the cow pasture under Saban. 7-1 in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
But that's where it stops. Give me Auburn in Tuscaloosa. Auburn is 6-0 all time in Tuscaloosa against teams not run by Nick Saban. They make it 7-0 this weekend. Give me Auburn.
Not with Hugh Freeze. Not with Hugh Freeze. That team's about lost. All right. Good stats there. All right, now we're going to get into one of the marquee matchups that are actually going to determine something meaningful. And when I say meaningful, I'm talking about
that too,
potentially a shot at the playoffs, because I think we've laid out a pattern, or at least a path for both teams to potentially make the playoff, and that is South Carolina at Clemson. So South Carolina at Clemson. There is a fighter's chance, a puncher's chance, maybe not a big one, but there is a chance that either one of these teams, the winner, could make the playoffs. We're going to start with you, Jordan. South Carolina at Clemson. Break it down for us. Jordan,
stop.
Nope. Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm sorry. I was thinking. Man, I got to go with Carolina in this one. They're playing the better football right now. I think Carolina can go into Clemson and get a statement win to cap off what's turned into a really good year for them. A lot better than people expected.
Okay. All right. So you got that's who you got. Okay.
Yeah.
Tony, what do you got, brother?
The Cox, they've been playing some pretty good defense all year. And Sellers, he's been a good game manager. Nothing like amazing. He's a game manager. Let's just call it what it is. He doesn't force the issue a lot. He just doesn't screw up enough to lose games, which is fine considering, like I said, they've been winning games. Defense playing good. Clemson, once again, led by one of the biggest whiners in college football, and Dabo Swinney. They've somewhat found an offense since they lost Trevor Lawrence. They have Cade, the kid, Klubnik back there. He's been, hit or miss, but they still haven't found an identity on defense, which at one time that was their bread and butter. We all know that. I expect this to be a tight one, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Clemson ran off the fucking field. Because defense wins you games. The Cox, they got that. They've been battle tested pretty much for most of the year. One team plays in the SEC and the other plays in the Cupcake Conference. So give me the Cox. That boo-hoo.
All right. Yeah. A3 players. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that in a little bit. All right, Riddle, who do you got?
Yeah, so I enjoyed going through and looking up these interesting facts about these rivalry games. This is the 121st meeting between these two teams. Clemson leads the series 73-43-4. The Palmetto Bowl is what it's officially called. Clemson has won 8 of the last 9. This is the first ranked matchup between these two teams since 2013. South Carolina won that game 31-17. This is only the 7th ranked matchup in the history of this rivalry, and South Carolina is 5-1 against Clemson when both teams are ranked. This is only the 2nd ranked team Clemson has played all year. Obviously, they played Georgia at the beginning of the year and lost. The big thing that stood out to me about these two teams is South Carolina runs the ball really well. They got a running quarterback that can make plays on his feet, and Clemson struggles against the run. They're 55th in the nation against the run. I think that's going to be a big thing. However, Tony talked about South Carolina's defense. They're 3rd in the nation in sacks with 39, and they're tied 8th in the nation in passing touchdowns allowed. But there was one thing that really stood out to me that could be worrisome if you're a South Carolina fan. Clemson is tied 3rd in the nation in turnover margin, and South Carolina is 130th in the nation in fumbles lost this year. So if they can hang on to the ball,
boy,
I think they'll be okay. Sanders and Sellers, Raheem Sanders, he's ran for 821 yards this year and 11 touchdowns. And then Sellers, he's ran for 489 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then Kyle Kennard, he's 5th in the nation in sacks. Those are 3 guys to watch for South Carolina. My guy for Clemson to watch is TJ Parker. He's got 9 sacks, 38 tackles, and 4 forced fumbles. But I do think that South Carolina is just going to be able to control the clock with their run game against Clemson's rushing defense that's struggled this year. So I've got South Carolina in this one.
All right. I'm going to go with South Carolina for a couple of reasons. One, the run game and Lenore Sellers and how he can use his feet, and then obviously their defensive line. We've talked and praised them many times on this podcast, and their defensive line is no joke. So I'm going to go with South Carolina in this game.
And you know what the old saying goes: never trust a man named Dabo.
Yeah, never trust a man named Dabo. All right, moving on to the another big matchup for us. This one actually will determine who Georgia plays in the SEC championship, and that's Texas at Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Tony, lead the way, brother. Tell us about it.
Once again, this is a rivalry that's been renewed. Going back from October 19, 1894, Texas leading the all-time series, 76-37-5, back when they play for ties. That's cool. We talked about this year, all year, how Texas literally hasn't played real competition. And before I say that, just they went up to Ann Arbor. They beat Michigan, a team that's been in they had a total coaching and roster overhaul. So yay, good for them. Was curb stomped in their own yard against Georgia, who was ranked, by the way. That's the 1-ranked team. Almost allowed Vandy to pull out the upset, and then beat up on DJ Lagway-less Florida Gators team at home. With that being said, SEC is still head and shoulders above all conferences. So if you other guys got a problem with that, let me know. But this is going to be another test for the Longhorns. They have yet to win a ranked matchup this year. And the conference title is on the line for them. Texas A&M's coming off a tough road overtime loss at the Auburn Tigers. But let's face it, that's another tough place to play at night. But the Aggies are now playing, 500 ball over the last.
Saban said that Jordan Hare was haunted.
Yeah.
Everything is going to hinge on the play of Marcel Reed. He hasn't played too bad, since being given the starting job. Really hasn't been the reason the Aggies have been struggling. That A&M defense has just been pretty awful as of late. But I do expect the 12th man to help that defense a little bit on this one. Since the rivalry has been renewed, I'm sure it's going to be amped up. I don't know if it's going to be white out. I don't know. Keep up with that shit that they do over there.
We got guys in pajamas.
All that weird shit. But, the rivalry, again, it's renewed just in time for Texas' first ranked win of the season.
All right.
So give me the Longhorns.
Begin the horns.
Riddle, you're up.
So we've touched on it. This is the Lone Star Showdown. Winner to the SEC championship game. They played every year from 1915 to 2011. And had they not discontinued this series, this would be the sixth longest running, most games played in a rivalry in the nation. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's the 119th meeting. Texas does lead at 76, 37, and 5. This is Texas's first ranked road game of the season and only their fourth road game all year. So they haven't had to play away from home very much. They did play Michigan. We know what Michigan is now. But that could be an issue because we've seen it. Teams that haven't played these big games on the road late in the year, they tend to struggle sometimes. Texas A&M's key to victory is just I think to run the ball. Texas has the 13th ranked rushing defense in the SEC. So if Texas can run the ball, extend drives, eat the clock, time of possession, I think Texas A&M has an avenue to win this game. And based on what I've seen recently, I am going to take A&M in this game.
All right. Jordan, you're up, buddy.
What'd you say the old time series was that, Jeff or Tony? One of y'all?
76, 37, and 5.
76, 37, and 5. Texas leads this series 46, 13, and 1 in Austin. But it's a different ball game in College Station. Texas holds a slim margin of 25, 22, and 2. Look at Mike Elko's history. I mean, at Duke, he was really good against good teams of slowing the game down, shortening it up, limiting possessions. With Marcel Reed, if they can do that, they've got a shot to beat Texas. This game hadn't been played since 2011, but this rivalry is far from dead. I mean, these kids have played each other in high school. They've played in middle school. They've played on Pee Wee All-Star teams. They're real familiar. When you make a decision in the state of Texas to go to Texas or to A&M, that's a big deal. I mean, there's friendships get shattered over that. That being said, Texas on the road. The Michigan game looked good when it happened, but, like Jeff said, we know what Michigan is now. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure the environment was crazy, but it's one thing to have a crazy environment with a mediocre, a bad team. I mean, I'm a Tennessee fan. I've seen it for years. Have a crazy environment, and just hope against hope. But I feel like this game means more to A&M. Texas, his first year in the conference. They haven't played since 2011. The 2010 A&M won. So in the last two games, they're 1-1. Texas won the last meeting in 2011, 27-25. It's always a tight one when these guys tend to play. There's no love lost. But give me A&M at home to pull off the upset.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. There ain't no point in talking about it any further. You guys have broke it down beautifully, and I'm just going to go with Texas. I think Texas A&M losing to Auburn tells me all I need to know. But it is very challenging to play at Auburn. I 100% can attest to that, and nobody knows that more than a Bama fan. But
Debbie in the chat, the last time they played was 2011. The next year, A&M come to the SEC, and they haven't played since.
And Ned, I know you say that. We're about to go over our picks for the weekend right now. One thing came off the purple. They said, "Are you going to go over the Heisman predictions?" We all have said Hunter is probably a shoe-in to win.
It's to lose right
He has
now.
not done anything to lose that
Hunter
to
or
me.
Ginty. There's no third party that can sneak in my opinion.
Ginty would have to do a lot more, and Hunter would probably have to get hurt. That's probably at this point. I mean, I just feel like the media's backing Hunter. I mean, that's what I
Let's
feel
be honest. Ginty would have to have. They play Oregon State this weekend. Hey, shout out Oregon State, Pac-2 champions. Big win over Washington State last week.
Big win.
But he would have to have a 300-plus yard game against them to sell himself back into
But
consideration.
it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It really is. But
I think Tony was going to say this.
Yeah, my boy Ned. That's what I'm talking about. Tyler Warren. I love him. But
obviously not for the
that's not
Heisman.
gonna happen.
Not for the Heisman, but he
Yeah,
is a lock, in my opinion, for the Mackey.
Okay.
A lot.
I can see that.
I would love to see Tyler Warren in that Heisman conversation. I mean, I would, but it's
Dude
not
is
gonna
legit.
happen.
Yeah.
He's
He's
great.
He's a great player. Great player.
Troy, I'm not giving Dylan Sampson no love. He fumbles too much in red zone. No Heisman. For me.
I'll give Dylan Sampson some love. I mean, I'm a Tennessee fan. It was kind of like a homer pick. But I feel like Tennessee may absolutely throttle Vanderbilt this weekend. Dylan Sampson's getting, I mean, what was it? The Walker came out. He didn't make the finalist list of that.
Yeah.
Despite leading the SEC in every rushing category offensively. I mean, and don't get me trust me, the O-line takes that personally as well because they're the ones busting their ass, cracking holes for that man to run through.
Yeah.
But, and I think Tennessee, I'm just going to cover this while we're here. I think Tennessee will be out to impress the committee to try to flip maybe that Georgia game to a home game in Knoxville and let them make a trip on the road on a SEC night, as opposed to doing that again.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the top 25 picks. Riddle, go ahead and give us the standings and, last week and then where we're at overall.
So last week, Brandon, you and Tony tied for the win. Went 16-4. Me and
Good
Jordan
job,
went
Tony.
15-5.
Yep.
Yeah, me and Jordan went 15-5, and then Chris went 14-6. Overall, I'm still in first, 97-25. Brandon, you're in second, 95-27. Tony, you're in third, 93-29. Jordan, you're in fourth at 92-30, and then Chris is at 91-30. So we've all picked 90%, actually over 90% of these games correct since we started doing this. So.
Yeah, but let's be honest, it's
Yeah, I know.
kind of easy to hit that high of a number. Next season, we'll do something. I've been playing some ideas for this.
Yeah.
Where it's not so long of a section and it's a little more meaningful.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we're just going to jump into it.
Your phone. I'm about to buy you a phone holder.
Yeah.
I've got one on the way, man. I'm doing the best I can.
If you haven't went ahead and looked at that video,
It's here for Saturday.
if you went and looked at the video of my TikTok shop, my phone holder where I'm sitting on the toilet, that's definitely the phone holder you need,
No,
brother.
I've not watched any videos of you dropping link along.
You're gonna.
Ain't trying to build no cabins.
It basically starts out with a white knuckle gripper, O-ring
The
ripper.
claw.
All right, here we go. Top 25 going into Thursday's lone ranked game. Memphis at
Man,
number
what a fucking
17,
goal.
Tulane. Who you got, Tony?
I'm taking Tulane.
All right.
I am taking Tulane.
With this top 25 that just came out, Tulane is actually sitting in a spot to where they could knock the Big 12 completely out of this playoff. So they're playing for
There's
a
a
lot.
formula for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they could take that fifth highest ranked conference champion and take that spot. So obviously, too much for them to play for them to sleep on a Memphis team that I believe is 9-2 right now. So
It's a good matchup.
yeah, I've got Tulane in this one though.
All right, good deal.
Hey,
Good deal.
Blast, we can talk about that in the after chat.
Well, let us get to these picks, and then we'll be
A lot
talking
of
all
these
comments.
questions, guys. Y'all are having some really good questions. I don't want to ignore you, but let us get through the end of what is our podcast section, and then dude, I'm up to sit here all night answering questions after that. Just having fun.
We're all going to be here talking and answering questions in chat after this, so we'll try to make it quick. Like I said, I know Everyone wants to get in here and ask their questions. So, Riddle, you picked Tulane. Is that correct? You got
Yep.
Tulane. Okay. Jordan, you're up.
Golly, Riddle's gonna fire me. Tulane. I mean, I'm not gonna keep it short and sweet, man. It's Tulane.
All right. I got
Memphis could cause problems, but I just think Tulane's too much.
Tulane, and Chris has got Memphis. So interesting pick there. So good job, Chris, for going against the grain. All right, Friday's game. So Oregon State at Boise State. Who you got, Tony?
I'm gonna go Boise. I'm not really confident. I don't think they're definitely not gonna cover that spread. They've been kind of, like I said, they've been teetering on the edge here lately against some teams that they're supposedly supposed to crush, but I'm still gonna roll with the Broncos.
All right, good deal. Riddle.
Yeah, Boise State playing the Pac-2 champion here this weekend. I'm back Tony on this. I think Boise State wins this game. I don't have them covering the spread.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, Boise doesn't cover. Oregon State still has some size on both lines. They'll key in on Genty and they'll make Madsen beat them. I think he'll do just enough to get a win, but he's shown this year when teams key on Genty and, key hardcore that he's going to struggle with some turnovers. So I think Boise wins it closer than Vegas says.
All right. I got Boise and Chris has got Boise. So moving on to Oklahoma State at Colorado. Tony, who you got?
I've been taking a big shit on Colorado's chest here the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to roll with them this week, though. Right. Give me the Buffs.
All right. Riddle.
Yeah, I got Colorado on this one. Oklahoma State, they have severely underperformed this year in the Big 12.
Major disappointment.
And had high hopes at the beginning of the year. However, I do think this is going to be another one of those games where I think it could be very, very close down the stretch. But I do have Colorado.
Jordan.
Yeah, this line makes zero sense to me. Colorado should be favored by 17 over nobody at anywhere at any point in time. As far as the Division I program. What a year it's been for Oklahoma State. Thank God Gundy is an Oklahoma State lifer. Or he'd be on the hot seat right now. You had Ollie Gordon was supposed to be this favorite for the Heisman right there and in contention. They were supposed to be the Big 12 favorites for the playoffs, and here they are with a 3-8 record. I think Colorado does enough. I think the humbling that they got from Kansas last week kind of opened their eyes that, hey, just because things trend the right way doesn't mean you can just start. It's not all one big party. I think Colorado wins, but Ohio State gets the cover. 17 is just too many points. 3 possessions, too much.
Me and Chris both got Colorado. Moving on to the Egg Bowl. We've already, we haven't picked Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
In case y'all want to know, Buffalo secures their spot in the MAC championship game. Kent State falls to 0-12 with a 43-7 beatdown.
All right. Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Tony, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Ole Miss. I'm taking Ole Miss. Surely they won't lose this one. They're pretty big favorites here. Mississippi State, young team. They just don't have enough juice. Give me Ole Miss.
All right, Riddle.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin got his wish. He doesn't have to worry about the SEC championship game now.
Yep.
He has been unburdened by what has been.
Ole Miss's defensive front is still one of the best in the nation. I know they lost the game they should have won, but they'll handle this Egg Bowl, and I don't think it'll be very close.
Jordan.
Like I said earlier, I think Mississippi State gets the cover. I think Ole Miss gets a win, an ugly win. Wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Mississippi State get their first conference win of the year in this spot. Brandon Walker would absolutely lose his mind and probably shit his pants all at the same time. But give me Ole Miss by probably a touchdown.
All right, me and Chris got Ole Miss, so we're moving on to Georgia Tech at Georgia. Tony, who you got?
Taking Georgia. I mean, that's about it.
All right,
Stay in
Riddle.
Georgia.
Riddle.
Yeah, I covered this game. I picked Georgia, but I do believe that Georgia Tech covers this spread.
Okay. Jordan, you're up.
The old Rambling Wreck. Isn't this game in Atlanta, Jeff?
No, it's in Athens this year.
Athens
It's
this year.
okay. It's in Athens. Well, yeah, they give me Georgia. Hell, Georgia State has no shot.
We both got Georgia. So moving on to Saturday's slate. First game up is Michigan at number 2 Ohio State. Tony, who you got?
Shit. I'm taking Ohio State. They should win this game. Michigan, once again, they don't have that extra gas this year. They don't have much of anything on both sides of the ball. Ohio State, they have everything to prove. They got to snap that losing streak, like I said. If not, then they better win the title. So give me Ohio State.
All right, Riddle.
Yeah, I've got Ohio State. I think they handle this defense pretty well.
Okay. All right, Jordan.
Yeah, Ohio State. Only thing I'll say about this game, if you're looking at wagering on this game, be very careful. That's a lot of points on Michigan. But I promise you, if Ryan Day, after the last 3 years, has a chance to beat them by 70, he will. It'll look like Steve Spurrier in the 90s. I mean, he'll be throwing, 4th and 30 with 7 seconds left. So Michigan fans, get ready. I think it's going to be an absolute beatdown. Kind of exercise some of those demons the last 3 years against Exogen.
All right. Me and Chris got Ohio State. Keep it short and sweet. Tennessee at Vandy, Tony.
Tennessee, I said it earlier to Chris, Vandy's cooked. They've seen run out of gas. I don't care if this is an in-state rivalry. Pavia is too worried about, soon NCAA trying to make some more money for himself. Apparently that's all he's concerned about since he's enjoying his 3-game losing streak now.
We asked about that.
Yeah. And that's it's going to be Tennessee, and they're only 10.5. I looked earlier. Hell, they better fucking win by 3 touchdowns, or I'm going to be mad.
Or
again.
what, Tony? Or what?
Hey,
All right, Riddle, you're up.
we don't want to see that.
This is a very long rivalry, and in the first 23 matchups, Vandy held a 18-2-3 record against Tennessee. That was up until 1928. From 1928 to 2024, Vandy has won 14 games. I've got Tennessee in this one, and I've got Tennessee big.
Jordan.
Yeah, a lot of people outside of the program and hardcore fans. I know Troy in the chat. I bet Troy knows this. That's the reason General Neyland was hired. It was to beat Vanderbilt. Believe it or not, back in those days, Vandy was a powerhouse. The Commodore pumped a lot of money in down there, and Nashville was a major hub. Like I said earlier, the Dylan Sampson disrespect, I think the O-line, and he will take that personally. I think Josh will probably take that personally, Coach Apple, and we'll try to get him his touches and his yards just to prove a point. Vandy was a feel-good story this year. They were ranked a couple times. I was happy to see it. I have an aunt who's a Vandy fan, bless her heart. But my grandpa, I will say my grandpa was a Vanderbilt basketball fan. But, of course, he grew up in Cannon County in the 40s or in the 50s. And, I mean, that was all the radio picked up was Vanderbilt. So I'll give him a pass on that. But he loved Tennessee football. Diego Pavia started out strong, but people have figured out the key to stopping him. If you put a spy on him and take away his legs, he's going to struggle. Against this defense, I think he struggles mightily. I think he struggles enough that he might consider rescinding that lawsuit he has and just riding off in the sunset and coaching high school football in Arizona or New Mexico or somewhere, Colorado. I think Tennessee wins this game big because they know they have to win big to have any shot to host a first-round game December 20th or 21st.
All right. I got Tennessee, and Chris has got Vanderbilt.
And I'm sorry. I know Vegas disagrees. That line opened 11.5. It's down to 10. There's some money coming on Vanderbilt. I'm not sure if that might be a head fake that they're trying to get it under 10 and then absolutely unload on Tennessee Saturday morning. But I think Vols big.
Okay. All right. South Carolina game we've already picked. Chris picked South Carolina, Riddle, so you can mark him down for that. And then we're moving on.
just go through that again? Everybody picked South Carolina in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Did.
Okay.
All right. Next matchup we got on the slate here is Tony, the resident expert, number 23, Illinois at Northwestern. Who you got?
I looked at this earlier, and I was going to take Northwestern just out of spite, but
No,
they're pretty damn bad.
You
It's hard
can't.
for me
You
to
can't.
do,
There's no way you can do it.
because Illinois is such a shitty fucking football team. But yeah, I'm gonna take Illinois.
All right, Riddle,
Yeah, I've got Illinois in this one. Short and sweet.
Jordan.
Yeah, it's Illinois. Coming off that miracle win in New Jersey last week against Rutgers. Northwestern got absolutely obliterated by a very average Michigan team. That game's probably what gets Michigan bowl eligible. At 6-5, I don't see them winning this weekend, so they'll sneak into, the Sun Bowl at 6-6. But yeah, give me Illinois to handle business against just a bad Northwestern team.
All right, me and Chris both have Illinois. So moving on to Maryland at Penn State. Tony.
God, I hate to do it too, but I mean, Minnesota's not a very good team, but Maryland's pretty fucking terrible themselves too. Penn State, luckily for them, they're home. They don't have to go on the road this time. So I'm gonna take Penn State by default.
All right, Riddle.
Yeah, little different atmosphere this week. I picked Minnesota last week to beat Penn State, and they almost did it.
Almost. Yeah.
But I will take Penn State in this one.
Jordan.
Yeah, I was really hoping the Gophers would stay golden. They had their opportunity and just pissed it away. Is Mike Locksley still at Maryland?
Yes, he is.
I haven't heard of him getting fired. That has not worked out well for him at all. I really thought he would have a little better tenure in Maryland. Yeah, give me Penn State big in what could be his last game as a head coach at Maryland.
Yeah, me and Chris got Penn State as well. All right, Notre Dame at USC. Tony, who you got?
I hate both schools, but I'm going to take Notre Dame. Yeah, I know they're going to have to travel away from New York to Cal, but USC, not a very good team.
New York, now they're from Indiana, cuz.
No. They played. They played last week against Army in New York.
Yeah.
So travel.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about travel here.
I got
the West Coast.
Yeah, but USC, not a very good team. Once again, led by an overrated college football coach named Lincoln Riley. I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one.
All right, Riddle.
Yeah, the Jeweled Shillelagh. Been some pretty good matches between these two in the history of this rivalry. And if you look at this USC team, they have been up and down. They're very inconsistent. I want to believe that USC can win this game. It is over there in California, and like Tony said, Notre Dame's had to do a lot of traveling lately. For the sake of my record in this pick'em, I'm going to pick Notre Dame, but I would love nothing more than to see USC show up, the same team that took Penn State to the wire and should have won that game, and USC to win this game.
All right, Jordan.
I'm a big believer in defense, and that's the best thing Notre Dame has is a defense. But this game being in LA, this is a very underrated rivalry. And I tell you what, record be damned. Give me USC at home.
All right.
To really make things interesting in the college football playoff reveal next week.
I like that pick.
Okay. All right. Me and Chris both have Notre Dame, so we'll continue on to the Iron Bowl. So this is Auburn at Alabama. Tony. We already picked it, didn't we? We broke this down.
Yeah,
Chris has Auburn to win.
There's only one. There's only one believer.
Chris has
there's
Auburn.
There's another emotional hedge.
Time in Tuscaloosa against teams not coached by Nick Saban. Make it 7-0. And the Kalen DeBoer calls get louder. Although I don't agree with them, they're stupid, but they'll get loud.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I know. I understand. So, he's earned more than that, yeah.
So me, Tony, and Brandon have Alabama. Jordan, you and Chris have Auburn.
Yeah.
Wait, Chris took Auburn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotional hedge. Come on.
Emotional hedge.
Go with your heart.
All right. Number 6, Miami at Syracuse. Tony.
Yep, taking Miami.
Riddle.
Taking Miami.
The fact that this game is at Syracuse made me take a long, hard look at this one. But Cam Ward will probably end up being a difference in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. Again, wouldn't shock me at all if Syracuse wins this game, but I've got Miami.
All right. Jordan.
Crap. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, I think this could be a tricky spot for Miami in the Carrier Dome, but I think Cam Ward is too good down the stretch. Give me the Canes.
Me and Chris got Miami, so we're going down to California at number 9, SMU. Who you got, Tony?
Yeah, it's gonna be SMU.
Right.
Cal stinks. So.
What you have to say?
All right. Go ahead, Riddle.
Yeah. So Cal has lost a lot of one possession games this year, and
Leads the nation.
yes, and I would pick Cal if it was in Cal and SMU had to travel because they've had to travel a lot this year. I'm going to take SMU, but again, this is another one that's going to be a lot closer than people expect.
Finish it. It's okay.
Jordan.
Cal has one of the best defenses by adjusted, per play by opponent in the country. Justin Wilcox, we had him in Knoxville for a couple years. One thing he can do is put a good defense on the field. That said, give me SMU at home, but that spread of 13.5 is too much. I think Cal keeps it within 10.
All right, me and Chris have SMU. Moving on to the in-state rivalry of Arizona State at Arizona, Tony.
Sun Devils.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I've got Arizona State here.
All right, Jordan.
In honor of Jim Keating, no pity for the kitty. Give me the Sun Devils.
Me and Chris both have State College. All right, we're moving on. Arkansas at Missouri. An interesting game here, Tony. Who you got?
It's really not that hard. This is Arkansas all day. Missouri's dog shit, and I upset some of their fans earlier, and I don't care. I don't feel bad about it because, like I said, 8-3 team play like a 4-7 or whatever the hell they are. Arkansas. Give me the Hogs.
All right.
Ooh, pigs to it.
For that pick. I've got Missouri in this one.
You just can't stay off their nuts. Like, they suck.
Hey.
How many times you going to cost you a pick?
They just keep winning. So they won last week when you picked Mississippi State. They'll win this week against Arkansas.
That's Mississippi State. This is Arkansas.
Wow. I'm sitting in 4th place, and I can squarely blame Missouri for that. They have played over their heads all year long. They might win this game. It's at home. Drinkwitz is an absolute clown. Give me the Hogs. I think Arkansas is a better team than Missouri. But, Missouri has had that golden horseshoe up their ass all year.
All right, me and Chris both got Missouri, so now we're moving on to Purdue at Indiana. This one should be quick, Tony. Go ahead.
Indiana.
Riddle.
That's it.
Yeah, big rivalry game here for these two, but it's Indiana.
Yeah. Jordan.
Yeah, Riddle's right. This is a huge rivalry game between these two schools and nobody else. But give me the fighting, smoking Signettis to just absolutely pound Purdue into oblivion.
Yeah, I have no reason to think Purdue will have a pulse in this game. They've been without a pulse all year. So Indiana, both of us picked Indiana. All right, going to Washington at Oregon. Tony.
Ducks.
All right.
Give me the Ducks.
Riddle.
Nothing much to talk about.
Last year, this game was actually pretty interesting there in the Pac-12 championship game, but this isn't last year. Washington just lost way too much to be competitive in this game, and Oregon will cement themselves undefeated in the regular season and go on to the Big Ten championship against Ohio State.
All right, Jordan.
You know, when I was a kid, there was a hockey movie with a key line of "Quack, quack, quack, Mr. Ducksworth." Oregon gets a win here of old Pac-12 rivals. Washington, the cupboard is bare. They may struggle getting above 500, 6 wins, 7 wins for a few years now.
All right. We both got Oregon, so that's the end of that. We've already picked the Texas A&M game. Chris picked Texas to go along with that. One of the ranked matchups that we did not discuss, but we're going to discuss now, is 24 K-State at number 18 Iowa State. Tony, who you got?
I'd be damned if take Iowa State, sorry ass. So give me Kansas State. Even though Kansas State screwed me earlier in the year,
Toast your biscuit.
I'm over that. But Iowa State's just fucking that bad too. I don't care. I'm gonna take K-State.
All right, Riddle.
I think I just do this for the fact that I like to go against Tony sometimes and no other reason. So I'm going to take Iowa State here.
Damn, he loves being wrong.
Judging
That's
by
crazy.
his picks this year, that's a good strategy.
That's crazy. You like being wrong? That's crazy.
All right. All right.
Dalton said he loves going against Tony.
Yeah, he loves going against everybody, apparently.
Jordan.
Oh,
That's all I got tonight.
Ames is a tough place to play. I mean, minus 2.5 on this game right now with Iowa State tells you that the odds makers and the betting market make this game virtually a pick 'em. If it was at a neutral field, I want to take Kansas State, but the last couple games, Kansas State has thrown the ball entirely too much for what their offense is built to do. That being said, if they keep that game plan, Iowa State will just walk all over them. So give me the Cyclones.
All right. Chris has Iowa State, and I'm gonna ride with Tony, and I'm going K-State. K-State. All right.
Yeah.
Nevada at 22 UNLV. Tony, who you got?
I'm taking UNLV. That's
All right.
it.
Riddle.
Yeah, short and sweet. UNLV wins this one.
Jordan.
Yeah, Nevada sucks. Disband the program. UNLV.
Yeah, we all got UNLV on this side too. So last matchup, Houston at number 19 BYU. Tony.
Yeah, give me those bunch of white guys over there in Mormonville over
Mormons.
Houston here. Yeah.
All right, Riddle.
Yeah, BYU total just fall from grace here the last couple weeks. I could very much see them coming out flat in this game because they've really lost any chance of being in the playoffs. But I will take them in this one. I got BYU.
Jordan.
You know, if it was earlier in the day, Jeff, you might be right. But 9:15 in Provo, it's going to be absolute magic for BYU. BYU absolutely blasts Houston, gets their 10th win of the year. You know what? Give me BYU big. I'm sorry. I don't have anything to say.
All right, BYU both over here. So that ends the top 25 matchup picks. We are now going to go into our last segment before we get to all the live questions, guys. So the last segment is UConn Cornelius' solid gold picks of the week. Jordan, what was your record last week and your overall for the year?
I'm going to get back to this. Hold on. Last week was, again, another 1-2. Just, Lord have mercy, it was ugly. Colorado, Kansas, over 59. The game hits 58 with 13 minutes to go. Not the point scored, just as ugly as it gets. That'll put it to 7 and 11 on the year. Also had Ohio State, was easy to cover last week. Alabama absolutely shit the bed, favored by 13.5.
Yeah.
That was a shocker, I must say.
Yeah, it was. So
moving into this week, that game's already moved. Sorry, I'm trying to look at some of these lines live because I want to give out something that's still available. Can't do that one. No, hey, hold on. Nobody do that shit. First off, it's going to be Liberty. I'm trying to find them right now to tell you what the current line is. I thought they played later in the day, but I'm having a hard time finding them right here.
Oh, didn't mean to do that. Oh, that's Tony.
Yeah.
You didn't kiss my ass, TP.
All right. While he's sitting
Does
there waiting.
anybody say okay? Does anybody say the Liberty line? Anybody at all?
No.
It was like 2.5 earlier. I was afraid it might have moved to 3, but anyway, Liberty. Give me Liberty 2.5. The next game up. Oh, that's tempting. USC at 7.5 is tempting, but man, I can't go with that one. Next game up, give me Boston College minus 4.5. There's a 5 and a 5.5 out there, but get Boston College at 4.5. This Pittsburgh, ever since that loss to SMU, they have not been the same team. Finally, you cannot end the year without a late night game on the Big Island. Pinnacle has it at 3. Give me Hawaii plus the 3 against New Mexico to keep New Mexico from bowl eligibility.
All right.
And by the way, that Liberty line is 3 now. They're just
Okay, well, hey, Liberty at 3, I'm still comfortable.
All right. So that does conclude the podcast portion of the night. We are now going to go ahead and dive into some comments. So if you have anything, shoot it off in the chat. We're available now. We're going to sit here and try to focus on answering some of the questions. And I'll just start. Charles James asked, what happens if Georgia loses in the SEC title? Troy answered, I believe they still make it in. I believe that too. So I think Georgia will be safe.
Somebody in the chat earlier said that the committee had said they won't penalize the team for playing in the conference game. I don't know how accurate that is.
I've seen that too.
Then
Josh
they
Payne
absolutely get in.
and Reese Davis have said that too. So, I mean, I brought that up earlier.
Okay. So, yeah, they absolutely get in if that's the case.
I just think you're opening up a can of worms there if that's the case, because let's say Texas wins this weekend and they play Georgia and they beat Georgia on a neutral field, even though they lost at home, but everybody in the chat likes to think so. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But let's say that Georgia does lose. Well, then they're sitting there with 3 losses, and you're going to put them in over 2 teams with 3 losses that beat them. Now, granted, the flip side of that, does Georgia deserve to be in there over those teams? Maybe. But I think you're opening yourself up as a committee to possibly bring back some computers if that's the case.
So Angel Luis Hernandez says Oregon beats everyone in the SEC by 14 plus points. Oh,
Lord have mercy. Get off the meth.
I don't think anyone here believes that.
For Florida fans.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here believes that at all. I think Oregon's traveled down this way a couple times and they haven't went back the same team. I can tell you that.
Let's see. Of the SEC teams that I would favor Oregon by more than 14, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Auburn, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Florida, Missouri, LSU. And then the other ones I'd really have to dive deep into that, but yeah. I would give you those teams right off the bat.
I'm not even sure of LSU.
Yeah, that would be depends on which one shows up, like we always talk about. Kia says,
depends on the way.
Kia says you want to put another beer on the game, UConn. He said you're
Which
down
one?
The Auburn game, the Iron Bowl. He said you're already down one.
Absolutely.
Angel Luis,
that PayPal. I'll send him enough for 2 beers.
Angel Luis Hernandez says Bama. Yeah, I mean, that's possible, Angel. Okay, I'm not saying you'd be a 14-point favorite though. It's just the way it is. Depends on what Bama team shows up, really. But
and we're talking a neutral field here too. I mean,
that makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference too. Let's see here. It's kind of slowed down now. Okay. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up because there's nothing really coming in. So with that said, thank you for listening to this week's Weekend Roundup on Lock, Loaded, and Goated. We will be back here on Saturday at 8:30 to review all your weekend madness and give you honest feedback on the day's events. We look forward to seeing you then. Remember, you can find this podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast as we do this for you, and we love your feedback. Have a great rest of the week, and we will see you all soon. And I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. And we're clear.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks for coming.
So
that new that MTHENL, he had said new here, which one's locked and who's loaded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that was way up there. He's gone now. Or I would have hit on it, but on the purple, they said thoughts on Milroe right now. He stinks.
Bum.
He stinks. He's too concerned about himself. I know he's a Bama fan, and I know that he has been bled for this team, but he's been selfish with the football. He's made a lot of mistakes. I feel
sorry to keep it down back there. No, I'm just kidding.
Made tons of mistakes, and he just can't read the defense. He can't read the field, and
he's too worried about getting the league.
Yeah, he's lost it, man. He's lost it. I think he's even lost the team, to be honest with you. I think he's lost the team. I'm not saying you go put Ty Simpson in tomorrow or this week. I'm not saying that, but I think they
Why not? It can't be any worse.
Just because I think what they're going to do is they're going to let Milroe finish the season, and I think the best thing for him to do is just move on. Because I think everyone kind of saying it out loud. I mean, I'm a Bama fan through and through, but it's time. It'd be best for both parties for him to just go off into the sunset. He will be remembered as much as Blake Sims. I mean, that's pretty much his comparison. That's his comp. Blake Sims at Alabama. Got to that game against Ohio State in 2014 and got shellacked. Jalen Milroe against Michigan got shellacked. That's pretty much what you got. But all right. Well, we can all sit here and shoot the shit. Maybe some more people will jump in here.
I might join one. Who knows?
Yeah, NIL ruined. Purple says NIL ruined everything. I promise that. NIL is going to change a lot of stuff.
It'll change. It didn't ruin anything. I mean, players were getting paid before. It was just who was good at hiding it and who wasn't. Now it's just out in the open.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think bidding war is like what happened with the Underwood deal going to Michigan, but I'm sure Portnoy signed a big check. That happened before. You just didn't see it on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean,
what was that Kenny Stabler in his book, wrote about going into the Chevrolet dealership there in Tuscaloosa and saying a red Corvette, and he's like, man, I like that one. And they said, well, let's run your numbers, and he said, no, you understand. He said, I'm starting quarterback for Bear Bryant's Crimson Tide, and I like that one. And the next morning, that one was sitting in his apartment driveway. I mean, that shit happened, and that ain't just I ain't from Alabama. That's just with Stabler, it's just a famous story that he put up there himself in print. But that kind of thing's been going on across the country for years. It's out in the open now. Everybody sees it.
Yeah, everybody that is here, if you can, go ahead and tap the screen, share the live out. Hopefully, we can get some more people in here so we can chat. Like I said,
I'm a badass. Thank you for that, sharing the live with more than 10 people. Thank you so much.
That's me, Jordan. You can stop.
Oh, I figured it was. You got 7 accounts.
You're damn right. Hey, I do whatever I can to try to share it out.
Hold on. That can't be you. I know you ain't got 10 friends.
No, you're the only one just still.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get some people in here chatting. But like I said, Wednesday or Tuesday before a holiday, I didn't know how many people would be in here. In all honesty, it's kind of.
Well, I mean, we're usually going on Wednesday night too, but I mean, it worked out better this night.
It was fun. It was a good.
Troy, are you still in here and chat?
Some people got plans, bro.
He's gone. Troy's gone.
Hey.
God dang it.
The fuck is that?
That meme I sent earlier.
Oh.
Hey, bro.
A3.
Before.
AC3 wants to know if we'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
Some of us might be live tomorrow. We might go live just to shoot the shit with some people if people want to.
I will not.
He will not. Riddle will not. No, not today. What's the deal with calling out the 17-year-old? Oh, you talking about the Auburn player?
Oh, yeah, that was stupid.
Well, he's a city. What? The Auburn player came out and said that Ryan Williams is nothing special. And it's just he's a freshman. He's a freshman. He's just trying to hype up his team.
Isn't that guy a linebacker too?
Yeah, I don't read anything into that.
Kind of guy when you'll never cover him.
Yeah, like I told Riddle, I said, you can say whatever you want. Alabama's a team. Okay, yeah, we've had some shitty games, but Ryan Williams has always showed up. Even the catch they called back wasn't going to change the outcome of that game, but just that catch alone was miraculous. Even if that was in the backyard.
Yeah, they gave you on that deal.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out that call.
It's been covered 17 ways, but if anybody was covered up, I mean, the tight ends who's covered up.
Yeah.
They just completely flipped that fucking call. They said the tight end had him covered. No, the tight end didn't. Tight end was covered. They just fucking botched that call and then just stuck with it.
I tell you what we're going to do, Jordan. I tell you what we're going to do. Everybody that's here right now, we're going to reset the live stream and see if we can get some people in here and get some people flowing. So everyone that's in here, just jump right back in. We'll be right back, and then we're